Paul Doswell, looking ahead to the game against Braintree Town in the FA Trophy on Saturday, and it's going to be another tricky test.
Yeah, they've certainly picked up recently. I think they've won 2 and drawn 2 of their last 4 games. So I think the new manager's come in and really had an effect. And any competitive game in the FA Trophy, FA Cup, never take for granted. And I know that Braintree will come here, fully expecting to do well as well.
Braintree obviously went through on penalties on Tuesday night against Billericay, so they've been through the mire. They've been through it. They've had a very tough opening test in the competition, so they'll be bang up for it.
Yeah, I think both of us had difficult away games. We certainly had a difficult one against Bracknell. We knew it wouldn't be easy, and I know Braintree would have felt the same with their draw at Billericay. So, I think both of us come into the game having got through quite difficult midweek ties, to be fair.
How pleased you to get through on Tuesday night, because it was a tricky test, and Bracknell did make it very hard for us, both the players and the supporters, to be fair to them.
Yeah, I thought they were excellent. I've got to say, all round as a club, they're welcome. When we got to the ground and how they looked after us during the game and after the game was very, very good. I said before, I thought they were a really good club on the rise, and everything I saw that night confirmed it. Very, very difficult game. As I said, pleased to get through. And then obviously hope we can get through to the last 32 after Saturday.
And of course it was such a short turnaround between obviously the end of the game against Bracknell and then knowing who we face in Braintree. So I suppose for yourselves it was a quick turnaround, making sure you did all the homework and the due diligence on them.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, it's been much more difficult to do due diligence on Braintree because they've had a massive turnaround of players, and the manager's obviously got contacts and has managed to bring in some players from lower leagues. And like I said, it's not really a game coming up Saturday we can overanalyse, because I think their last game was against Welling, and whilst we could look at that, I think only sort of 4 or 5 of their players from the Welling game played against Billericay. So it's a bit different, but it is what it is, and both teams will just get on. And we're also have made lots of changes as well, so I think they'll be in pretty much the same boat as us.
Unfortunately, we found out the news earlier on today about Havant and the area being moved into Tier 3, and unfortunately as a consequence of that we're not allowed supporters in for the forthcoming future.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dark cloud at the club this morning, if I'm being honest. We've worked so hard, everyone at the club's worked so hard to get our supporters back. I made it very clear last week that their attendance at Chelmsford and Slough was a massive boost to us, and it's very, very disappointing. I don't think we can hide that disappointment either, but again, everyone's rallied round this morning. We've managed to again allocate staff to get the live stream on, which I think that's something which we're able to do now very well. So hopefully all of our supporters and Braintrees can watch the game now at 3 o'clock on the live stream. But again, you're back to this very sterile environment, and it's just. You saw the atmosphere on Tuesday night. I don't know, 400-500 Bracknell fans there screaming behind their team, and I loved it. I love the fact that the Bracknell supporters were that vociferous, and that it felt like a proper away game again. So again, we got to get on with it. We just all of us got to hope and pray that perhaps come the spring that normality has returned to life, really. But no, I can't say anything other than it's been a pretty disappointing morning.
Feels obviously there's reasons bigger than football, right? But it does feel a little bit of a kick in the teeth, because as I say, we had the fans back, and the fans made a great atmosphere here, and now it's back to where we were.
Yeah, and the biggest fear for everyone is that people fall out of love or fall out of the habit of going to their local football club. And for us, we only saw probably 600-700 here when we could have had more than that. So certainly over half of our gate didn't return for the first 2 games, which understandable. People that are shielding vulnerable people, and lots of different things. So it's a real difficult one. And I think, to be honest, I think we've all realised now that unless the vaccine comes and it is here, but it's going to take some time to roll out, I just think that we're all after, in our life as well, some normality. And unfortunately, that might have to be a June, July normality, or even August, I think. So it's a realisation, really, of however hard you're trying and however positive you want to be, that this thing at the moment is sort of beating us a bit.
What's your message to supporters? Obviously, they're going to be as upset as anyone today.
Yeah, for them not to be here for the Dorking game, I think we'd have had a big crowd for the Dorking game. After Christmas, everyone always loves to come to football. New Year's Day, everyone loves to go to football. It's a tradition in England that we all go to football on Boxing Day and New Year's Day. So, as I said, no one's missing them more than me. It does feel very empty and sterile, without support. But in terms of that dressing room, in terms of what we're doing at training and everything that will be geared up for Saturday, we'll be right at it for them. And all we can do is keep going, keep trying to get the results for them, and just. The tier's changing every sort of 2 or 3 weeks at the moment, so let's just hope that we get a tier change in 3 or 4 weeks and they're back with us.
Fingers crossed, hope for the best. Paul, thank you very much.
Cheers, Henry.